Hello guys and girls, this is Finch from FlipSide Tactics, and this is yet another episode of Dota for Dummies. This episode is going to be all about shopping, because there's one thing gamers love, it is shopping. There's 3 different types of shops in the world of Dota 2, so I'm going to kind of go over the basics of navigating each of the shops, and pretty much what you need to know when you go into the game. I'm not going to go into specific detail about every item in the game. There's a lot of other videos out there that are really good, that go over every little basic thing. But I'm just going to try to give you a brief overview and gives you a better idea of what's going on. So right away, when you're in the fountain, or anywhere on the map for that matter, you can hit period by default to open up the shop. Then also you can click the shop button down here in the lower right hand corner. You can click shop and it opens up the shop. The shop interface is very easy to navigate. You'll see here on the left, this is the guide system. These are the suggested items by the guide creator. And I actually think this is one of my personal guides I made for Marana. These are very useful, so if you play Hero a lot and you want to create a guide, do that. There's also, you can load guides up here in the top left. Very useful, but it helps you, figure out what you need to build for that hero and all that kind of good stuff. But as far as the shop goes, there's 2 different types of ways to view the shop. There's a list view and there's grid view. List view is like this. It lists out each of the items, but then you have to click in between each tab to tab through each item. The grid view, I think, is the lot easier view. It's a lot more useful, and once you figure out what items are where, it's a lot quicker to just click. It's very useful. One thing to note too is each of these rows is organized in a very specific way. They do make a lot of sense. At first it seems like it's just random, but once you get used to it, they do make a lot of sense. So the big difference between each of these rows is you can come to the tab and it tells you each the name of the tab. Consumable tab is this first column. It's consumables, wards, town portals, all that kind of good stuff. The next one is attributes. These are all items that give you plus to your attributes. So Iron Branch, +1 to all attributes, all the way up to the Ultimate Orb, +10 to all attributes. The next column, the armaments column, gives you armor and attack damage, so all through there. And then this final column is the arcane, and arcane is mostly things that have effects on them, such as health regeneration, mana regeneration, resistance, movement, that kind of thing. Then there's 2 tabs. There's basics and there's upgrades. Usually you're going to be okay living in the basics one. You're not really going to switch to upgrades and then scroll through and try to find the correct item in these. These are also grouped together, so you have the common, support, caster, weapons, armor, artifacts. Don't really need to worry about those that much. Most of the time the items that you're going to build are going to be over here in the suggested item column. And so when you click on the item, so say I want to build the Desolator, I can just left click on it, it brings it up down here, it shows that I need to build 2 Mithril Hammers in the recipe to build the Desolator. So you can build by each one of these individually, or you can just click on the item if you have enough gold and buy it all at once. One nice feature is if, say, you have a Mithril Hammer, you can mouse over the Desolator and it tells you cost to complete, 2,500 gold, so you can figure out how much is left over that you need to have before you can purchase that item. So most of the time you'll stay on basic because you're always going to want portals and all that kind of good stuff. Next up is the quick buy. So down here in the bottom left there's a quick buy icon and I guess tray. You can right click the scroll of town portal and it just buys you a town portal. You can change the item that is here in this spot. I just put town portal because that's always, when in doubt, buy a town portal. You always need to have one on you. So it just makes it easier to purchase them when it's down here. You can also drag and drop items down into this quick buy section and make it easier to purchase them. So we'll use the MKB this time. You can drag it down here, drop it in, and it shows you the 3 components. And even when the shop's closed, they remain down here. So it makes it easy to purchase when you're out in the map. So say you're over here, you can purchase it. Still goes in your stash, or if you're in the fountain, you can purchase it. It goes in your inventory. Very useful feature. It's definitely good if you're about to die. You can purchase the item before you die. It's definitely something to get used to and use it as much as you possibly can. You might notice that there's an S right here next to the Demon Edge. S stands for secret shop. So there's 3 different types of shops on the map. There's the main shop here. There's going to be the secret shop over here, and also on the other side of the map over here. And then there's 2 side shops. One over here, and then one down in the bottom lane right here. The items that you can purchase at the side shop and the secret shop do differ. Some of the items overlap between the main shop and the side shop, but the items at the secret shop, you can buy them all here, except you can get the Ring of Health and the Orb of Venom and the Energy Booster over at the side shop, but you're not going to get any of these more higher tier items in the main shop. So we will head over there in a second and talk about that. The one last feature about the shop that's very useful is the search feature. Up here in the top right, you can type in the word you're looking for. So say you're looking for a Monkey King bar, you can type in monkey, there you go, pops up. You can also use abbreviations. So the common abbreviation for Monkey King bar is MKB, Monkey King bar, and also another one is Black King bar, BKB, Battle Fury, BF. Items that have common abbreviations, you can type those in, and the game's pretty smart on figuring out what you're trying to look for. So that is that, and we'll head up top. So let me, while we do this, level up. Just level up. We'll head top to the side shop. The one nice thing about the side shop is they're here for a specific purpose. They're here to make sure you can stay in lane a lot longer. A lot of the items you can purchase at the side shop are things that you could also purchase back at base. But the reason they're out here is so say if you're laning, you're doing the usual laning phase and that kind of stuff, you don't have to worry about going back to base or even flying in the courier to deliver those items to you. A lot of the items in here are stuff you're going to use very early on. So like Town Portal, you're going to be using that throughout the game. You always want to go and grab one. If it's closer to the side shop, then just go back to base, just go to the side shop. And then also a lot of the lane sustain items that you're going to pick up early on. So something like a Sage's Mask, Ring of Regen, Boots of Speed, Ring of Health. All these items are stuff that you're going to pick up pretty early if you're playing a carry. You're going to be building the Ring of Health usually on some heroes. Say if you're building towards the battlefield or something like that, you pick this up early, you can build it in the Perseverance, and you can have that lane sustain with the health regeneration, that kind of thing. Also too, there's a pretty good amount of combinations with these items that you can build into larger items. So one of the more common ones is going to be Boots of Speed and Energy Booster. It's going to build into the Arcane Boots. Another one would be Morbid Mask and Helm of the Iron Will, and that's going to build into the Helm of the Dominator. You can also come over here, you have the Slippers of Agility, build 2 of those, and a Stout Shield, which is going to be over here, and you can build it into the Poor Man Shield. You can build Power Treads here, so you can get the Boots of Speed, you get the Glove of Haste, and then get the Belt of Strength to build the Power Treads. So there's a lot of useful combinations in the side shop, and the main reason it's here is just so you don't have to run back to base, you don't have to use the courier. It just speeds up the flow of the game, and just make sure you utilize it. A lot of times people will forget that they can purchase the items there. When you do, it's a lot quicker to go there, and also it adds another layer of complexity when you're competing in the lane. You're going to want to have that lane control and the lane presence that allows you to have access to that shop. And also you can bully your opponent around. Say you have control of the lane, you can kind of bully them away, you can prevent them from getting boots, from getting the Ring of Health, stuff like that. So it adds a little bit more dynamic to the lanes and how it works out. And then the last shop is the secret shop. Like I said, it's going to be right here and over here. These items are items that generally build into the more powerful items in the game. So like the Monkey King bar, you're going to need the Demon Edge. You want to build a Radiance, you're going to need a Sacred Relic. Heart, same thing for here. You're going to need the Reaver. Mystic Staff is going to build to the Scythe of Vice. All of them are very common, expensive items. Point Booster builds into Aghanim Scepter, another pretty common item. So you're going to need to make the trip over to this secret shop area to pick up these items to build into those late game items. A lot of times newer players come into the game and get frustrated that items are all spread around the map. It's not that they're all spread around the map too much, it's just that these 6, 7, 8, 9 items are all items that are very powerful, and a lot of times if you complete that item, you can completely change the game in your favor. If you're building a Sheepstick, the Scythe of Vice, if you have this, you might win a fight. If you don't have this, you might lose a fight. It's a very, very important item. So by having the Mystic Staff and even the Void Stone at the secret shop, it forces your team to maintain map control, and you have to take a risk to come out here. A lot of times, say if you're on the Dire side and you're pressuring the Radiant side, you have all these towers killed, you can pretty much lock them out of getting to their secret shop. They're going to have to try to fly the courier in, either around or right through. If you drop a ward right here, they can kill the courier. If you personally try to make the trek out here to pick an item up, you can die. It's all very risky, and it just adds another layer of complexity to the game and increases your map positioning and map control, and all that kind of stuff makes it even more important. Just make sure that if you do need one of these items, that you get it safely. There's nothing worse then your team, your barracks is about to go down, you send a courier out, you buy the item, and then the courier dies. Well, then now you don't have that item. Or I see a lot of times people will run over here and they'll try to sneak in through the side and they'll walk up and then they'll die, and then all of a sudden it's a 5v4, they lose the fight, they lose the game. Just be safe when you come over here to pick up the items you need, and also you can kind of plan accordingly. If you know you're going to be building a sheepstick, maybe pick up the Mystic Staff first, so then you can purchase the ultimate orb when you're in base, and that kind of thing. So that pretty much wraps up as far as shopping goes, the 3 shops in the world of Dota 2. If you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, all that kind of good stuff, feel free to let me know over at FlipSideTactics.com.